Congratulations on your new ROS1 moisture analyzer, and welcome to the setup and training course. Complete the test after this video to be certified to operate the ROS1. In this video, we'll cover how the ROS1 works, unboxing and setting up, calibration, preparing samples, running your first test, and cleaning the ROS1. Let's get started. The ROS1 uses loss-on drying to determine the moisture content of as many as 9 samples at a time. It produces precise reference method loss-on drying analysis and automates the hands-on labor that other reference methods require. Simply put your samples into the carousel, close the lid, and set the program running. Here's how it works. A finely tuned heat source dries each sample. As moisture evaporates, the ROS1 repeatedly passes each sample over a highly accurate scale. As the evaporation rate slows down, it weighs the samples more often, stopping precisely when the sample is dry. With the ROS1, it's easy to align with primary AOAC, ASTM, or ISO standard drying methods. Either set a custom drying temperature and time, or dry to a constant weight. The ROS1 Bridge app graphs your results in real time throughout the test, and helps you export your data when you need it. In the box with your ROS1, you should have received a quick start guide, an envelope with a user manual, a calibration certificate, sample cups, meter's reversible USB to USB cable, a power cable, a 2-gram weight standard, a USB thumb drive, and filter papers. Before you set up your new instrument, you'll need to find a good location. Once you have a good location, plug the power cable in and turn it on. Because the scale in the ROS1 is so sensitive, never use unsteady tables, surfaces that might vibrate or get bumped, or anywhere near vents and drafts. Choose a flat, stable, protected surface away from vents, doors, and windows. Before you run your first tests with the ROS1, give it about 2 hours to come to thermal equilibrium with its new location. Before you plug in the USB cables, insert the USB thumb drive. Install the drivers and copy the ROS1 Bridge app to your computer. Now connect the ROS1 to your computer with the USB cable. Bridge doesn't need to be installed. Just run it whenever you use your ROS1 and make sure to use the drop-down menu to connect to the meter USB COM port. With cables plugged in and Bridge open and connected, you're ready to move on. Note that your ROS1 arrives factory calibrated and doesn't need to be recalibrated before use. When you do need to calibrate, open Settings in Bridge, click Calibrate the Scale, and Bridge will guide you through the process. To start a test, first set your test settings in Bridge. The ROS1 is sample agnostic, no need to establish a method for your sample type. Simply use the default setting Dry to a constant weight to produce quality results, no matter your sample. If you're using an AOAC or other official method, choose Timed Test, then manually set your time and temperature below. If you'd like to use sample agnostic mode, simply select that from the drop-down menu. Put as many as 9 empty sample cups in any opening in the carousel, close the lid, and click Next. The ROS1 will move your first sample cup onto the scale and take a tare weight reading. If it doesn't detect a sample in a carousel slot, the corresponding LED will turn off. Once the ROS1 has tared a position, the corresponding LED on the front will turn green. It's now ready for you to open the lid and add a sample to the cup. But before you do, let's go over a few sample prep best practices. Be sure to choose complete and representative samples. If there are multiple components, put some of each component in the cup. If your sample has an outer coating or film, be sure to include that as well. Consistent preparation is key. Whether you choose to crush, grind, or slice your samples, be sure to do it in the same way every time. We recommend grinding, blending, or roughly crushing most samples. The larger the sample surface area, the quicker moisture can evaporate, and the sooner you'll have your results. Be sure to limit your sample's exposure to the ambient atmosphere. The longer they sit out, the more the environment will change your sample's moisture content. If you can, use enough sample to completely cover the bottom of the sample cup. Feel free to take the cup back out of the ROS1 to avoid spills inside the instrument. In most cases, 3 to 4 grams of sample will produce the most accurate results. Always use at least half of a gram. When using more sample, try not to fill the cup more than half full. Avoid contaminating the sample chamber or future tests by wiping off any excess sample with a clean tissue before placing it in the ROS1. Once your sample is prepped and placed in the carousel, you'll see an approximate sample weight in bridge. When you're done, close the lid and click Next. Again, take care not to bump the table while you add samples or during the test. The ROS1 is very sensitive, and any vibration can mean less accurate final results. The ROS1 will now tare the second cup. When it's done, you can open the lid and add sample. Repeat that process until you've tared and filled all of your sample cups. If you spill or bump the table and need to go back and redo one of your samples, you don't need to start over. Just click on that sample in Bridge and it will guide you through how to redo it. Once you've filled the last cup and closed the lid, the ROS1 will start the test automatically. During the test, Bridge will graph moisture curves in real time. If you've connected a laptop, you're now free to unplug and work on other tasks while the ROS1 analyzes samples. Reconnect the USB anytime to review the readings and export data. Just make sure you reconnect to the right COM port from the drop-down menu as well. Once your samples are dry, you'll be able to review and export the results in Bridge. The ROS1 stores data from the last test only until you start a new one, so be sure to export your data regularly. Between tests, we recommend you check for spills. Spills, dust, and debris left in the chamber can burn, interfere with the sample cup rotation, disrupt heating, and ruin your test results. If possible, use compressed air to blow any spills or debris out of the drying chamber between tests. For more substantial spills, use a moist towel, sponge, or Kim wipe and a gentle detergent. If a spill is burnt on, gentle scrubbing won't harm the ROS1, but never use anything abrasive. When you're done, rinse the surface using a moist towel, sponge, or Kim wipe. Occasionally, your ROS1 might need a more thorough cleaning. Here's how. First, make sure your device is powered off and unplugged. Start with the sample chamber lid. Clean, rinse, and dry. Remove the 2 thumb screws in the center of the sample carousel. Clean, rinse, and dry. Clean, rinse, and dry the lower heating plate. To access the scale well, remove the scale pan by removing the screw from the center. Be careful not to drop debris, water, or cleaning supplies down the scale rod shaft. Clean, rinse, and dry the scale pan, then replace it. Replace the sample carousel, and you're done. Now that you've finished, we recommend calibrating the scale. This completes your ROS 1 moisture analyzer training. For a certificate of completion, you'll need to pass the online test.